Amari, I think, is 80 yards short of his career high, which, considering his career, is pretty impressive. Does that mean something to you? Do you think that means something to him, the chance to get that?
What I've learned about Amari Cooper is he's such a team-oriented player that really all he cares about is contributing to the team and helping the team win. Obviously, I think that all players have individual goals, and we have individual goals for each individual player that we set at the beginning of the year. But I would say that, not speaking for Amari, but speaking for him because I know him as well as I do now working with him for a year, what's important to him is truly helping the team win. But I am very proud of Amari's year and what he's accomplished individually. Because he's done it the right way. He's done it through hard work. He's done it by being a very unselfish football player on our team. And I just appreciate Amari and have a tremendous amount of respect for what he's accomplished and that he feels like the team is most important.
Last February and March, when you guys were
Ready? Did you have people tell you, like, this is a great guy, this is a guy you want in your locker room?
Yeah, it's very important in the process of acquiring players that we do our homework. Personnel staff does a great job here of that. Obviously, we're involved as a coaching staff to make sure we know who we're getting as not only the player, we can see that on tape, but the person. So Amari came highly recommended, but I think until you work day to day with Amari and you become as close as you do to him as a player in person is when you really realize how strong of traits he has and what he brings to this football team. And I can't say enough about those intangibles that he has brought that's meant a lot to not only our receiver room, to our football team. And what's most impressive about him is he goes about it the way he does. He doesn't say much, but it's by his actions and it's by his example that he really is a tremendous leader for this team.
We talked about him as a route runner. Do you see that having an effect on the other guys, or other guys in your room kind of picking up on some of the things he does so well in that area?
Absolutely. So Amari's a very accomplished route runner, and he works very hard at that. He studies the opponents. He's very thorough about his, studying the opponent, and he works extremely hard on being a great route runner, and it's contagious in our room. He's really helped our guys. He's helped Donovan Peoples-Jones develop into a better, more refined route runner. He's helped, I would say, the group just become better fundamentally and become better professionals. I mean, I think very highly of our group in terms of how they've been professionally throughout the year, and I would say some of that is attributed to Amari's influence on them. He's had a very positive effect on our group, and I'm very appreciative that we've had a chance to work with him this year.
Route running the area where you feel like Donovan has taken the biggest strides this year, or if not, where do you see that?
Yeah, Donovan has really improved in all areas of his game, which is what we ask the players. Hey, at the beginning of the year, can we improve and be the best version of yourself in all areas? He certainly has become a better route runner. We focused on that in the offseason and in a training camp. But we focused on some other things in his game that I think he's really done a great job of. He's always been a very detailed and dependable player for us in his first 2 years, but we challenged him to go over and beyond some of the things we've asked him to do in the past, and that has to do with the route running and some of the things we've asked him to do on the route tree that might be a little bit different. So yeah, he's improved as a route runner, and I do think Amari's influence on him and our group has been very helpful to him in his development.
You guys have had two receivers who have produced all year, and you've had other guys. So to those younger guys, what's your message as far as when you go away Monday, as far as, hey, this is what we need to do to be more than two receivers?
Yeah, the best thing that we have going and that I have going as a coach is to have two great examples in front of young players that we have high expectations for, that maybe have been in more of a developmental role, but now we're going to look at them in the future to be in more of an increased role, and obviously their role is going to depend on what they do with it. But they have great examples in front of them of two players, Amari and Donovan, that have had solid years, and they've had solid years because they've done things the right way. They've done things in their preparation that have been outstanding. Again, they've been very unselfish and want to do what's best for the team in everything that they do. and they've been good teammates. I mean, those two guys have been outstanding teammates, and what I mean by that is they've led that group, but they've led them by not being rah-rah. They've led them by example. So two great examples for our young players moving forward of what they need to do in terms of their preparation and overall professionalism to become the best version of themselves moving forward.
Chad, with Donovan, I mean, I know Alex last week credited you with a lot of his development. I guess just what have you seen from him, his ability to take teaching, first of all, over these last three years, and where has he improved most in that regard?
Yeah, I would say Donovan's improvement starts with he's very coachable, and he's a great listener, and he takes what we ask him as a coaching staff to do, and he tries to get it right. And he's very conscientious. He takes so much pride in his work. And I told the group this morning in our meeting how much I appreciated their overall commitment to their preparation, their professionalism, and how they've conducted business this year as a group. I can't say enough about collectively that group and what they've done from things that aren't seen. You know, you can see the stuff on film and on tape, and the people in the stands can see what they do on the field. But what I think that I've had the opportunity to see that's been awesome is what they do behind the scenes, which is as good as what they do on the field. And that leads them to play well on the field. But their work ethic and their commitment to being great teammates with each other. And it starts with being coachable. You have to accept coaching and want to be coached. And we always talk about ongoing skill development and being proactive in your own development. And they sure have really been that.
Speaking of Donovan, Deshaun said his favorite throw after the game was that touchdown to Donovan because they were both kind of on the same page. They read that the same way. I mean, was that kind of the example of how far Donovan has come?
Yeah, I think that's a great example. His touchdown catch in the Washington game was a specific play that we had versus a specific defense that we had rehearsed on the field exactly the way in which it happened in the game. So, you know, I think that Donovan not only has been coachable, but he's entrusted in the coaching staff, and that, hey, what plan they put forth, let's believe in that plan, let's trust in the process, and you know, ultimately what we do at practice can transfer to the game. And to see those guys on the same page was really a real positive for our football team.
What is the outlook and the upside for David Bell, and what does he need to do to kind of move forward in the offseason?
So David, and I think in your rookie season for any player, there's a transition obviously to the NFL, and it goes well beyond just the X's and O's. David's done a tremendous job this year of being a dependable player. I know going back to Donovan Peoples-Jones in his first year, we described him as dependable and a detail type player. I put David Bell in that same category. So, you know, obviously with a second year, he'll improve on just overall exposure and having experience to the NFL game. But the one thing David has going for him that is a great trait is that he's a dependable player and a dependable person. And that's the thing. I'm going to brag on that group as long as y'all will listen about their overall dependability, their work ethic. And I mean, our meeting room is really impressive if you would be in there and watch these guys as attentive as they are and as much pride as they take in their work. And I think David's right in the middle of that. And I've been very impressed for a young player that he's been able, in a very quiet way. We have a very quiet group, as you guys probably know talking to them, you know. But it's a group that really takes their job very seriously, and I appreciate that about them, to include David.
What about, I know you talked about how you like Michael and how he studies, but on the field, he got some more reps last week. But like, where do you think the jump needs to be made on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I've been very impressed. Mike's had some really good weeks on the practice field for us. And I think you saw that in the last game of him showing up, doing some things here in the last couple weeks. We've had him in there some more. So with Mike, there's so many things that he brings to the table. I think he has a great skill set as a player. I think he has awesome intangibles also. You know, he's a guy that we put in the category as very intelligent. He can play in a multiple role position for us because he's able to handle that mentally, and he has the physical skill set in combination with that to be successful. So moving forward, Mike needs to play to his strengths, which is I can do a lot for this team and I can have a big role because I can line up in different spots, outside, inside, inside, outside, have some position flex. So moving forward, I'm really excited about the future of Mike Woods, just as I am with a lot of our young players, but it starts with he knows what to do.